Home is where connections are made, memories are formed, and ideas are born. And no one knows home better than NFM. Thanks for tuning in to I Am Home, the podcast that goes deeper than trends and dives into what it means to make your house a home.
Tyler Weisskopf here from NFM headquarters with the mic magician herself, Becca Sudbeck.
Hi, Tyler.
Hi, Becca. And Hilary Walton-Math, Visual Display General Manager.
Hey.
Hey, Hilary. We're recording this episode on September 18th, and today we have Kansas City Chiefs defensive superstar Bryan Cook on the podcast. He's going to be talking sports, updates to his home, and so much more. We are delighted to have him on. But before we get to that, let me tell you why we're even doing this podcast, and that's because NFM is more than just your everything home store. We're in the business of improving lifestyles because your home life should be your best life. Learn more at nfm.com. And we are on with Bryan Cook. Thank you so much for joining us today, Bryan.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here. It's a privilege.
Oh man, the privilege is all on this side. I promise you. Let's tell the people a little about you. Bryan Cook is a Super Bowl champion safety.
Yes, sir.
And just in his second year as a protector, I'm looking at your Instagram for references here, protector of the Kansas City Chief Kingdom. He started his collegiate career playing for Howard University, where he had, I think it was like a nearly 100 tackles and just great playmaking all around, including, I think, at least one interception for a touchdown, which I thought was pretty amazing. Then he transferred to the Cincinnati Bearcats, just miles away from Mount Healthy, Ohio, where you played high school. And Bryan was a standout his senior year, winning first team all AAC honors. As a pro, he was drafted 62nd overall in the second round, ranked him on the top of his class for safeties and a huge hitter and a heat-seeking missile you've been described as. And I've looked at like so much game tape of you just flying around the field. I think that's a very accurate thing. Beyond the field, I think you would classify yourself as a sneakerhead. Is that true?
I mean, it depends.
Yeah.
I say because like I'm getting into it, but I have a lot of my friends, but especially back at home, who are like way more sneakerheads than I am. So I think there's tiers to it, but I'm up and coming for sure.
Okay. So if it's not sneakerhead, maybe it's like a sneaker, I don't know, middle. Is it the top tier of the head?
I would say that.
And you're like,
Oh boy.
I would definitely say that.
Starting with the bad jokes already.
All right. Yep. I'm pretty corny that way. Okay. So Bryan, the last thing that we have for your intro is just a week and a half ago, you celebrated a birthday. It was the season opening game. So happy birthday to you. And I was just curious if you had a chance to enjoy it. I know that the team didn't have the day that we were hoping for, but I wanted to make sure that you at least were able to kind of celebrate your birthday.
I mean, I celebrated kind of mediocre. I wasn't really, especially growing up, I wasn't really too harping on it because every year, obviously with football, I'm always focused on football. But I was able to, spend time with some loved ones. We play Uno, I guess you could say. We just, sad and reminisce about the good times and see some friends from back at home. Was able to play against my former teammate, Dave Montgomery. I guess the Lions, number 5. Yeah. So, it was blessings within the blessings, I guess you could say. But it was nice, though. I mean, cheers to 24, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Do you have a go-to birthday cake?
No. Matter of fact, now that you ask me that, I had to really intervene in that. Because I don't know. I think for me, it depends. Because it depends on how I'm feeling. Like red velvet is always a good one. But then the ice, the icing is very important. Like I rather I think it's buttercream, the one like real thick.
Yes.
Oh, bro.
Yes.
That's definitely
for.
lovely. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I definitely gotta start to think about things like that as I get older. Probably my next birthday, I'll probably actually have a cake that like I want, and but right now I'm just kind of just living, just going through the flow right now.
I think red velvet was a pretty spot on if that's what you had this year, keeping with the Chiefs colors and maybe we can just like tier it next time. It'll be red and yellow and you can get both.
Dude,
Best of both worlds. I don't know if that's a
beautiful.
thing, but we should make it.
I think you could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We have to ask at the time of recording, the Chiefs lost their first game, won the second, the defense is looking pretty good. Offense had some ups and downs. It's early in the season, but curious, like if you have any words of wisdom for a nervous fan that might be like, oh, are we gonna make it this year? Any kind of words of wisdom for those nervous fans?
I mean, we definitely. I would say this, like, we definitely working. We working behind closed doors. I know you guys only see us really perform, but the work we putting in day and day is definitely like definitely beautiful to see and beautiful to watch and be a part of as well. But overall, like, what I'm saying, we are in the beginning of the season. We are trying to figure things out, mesh things like that. We're doing different things, and then we have a different receiving core than we did last year. We're still up and coming as far as the defense wise. We're kind of technically still young. But to see how we're performing, to see how we're still meshing and the confidence that we have in one another, like that's something that's very beautiful to see. So, it's kind of too early to kind of really call for anything right now. I want to really see, like, be all down. I mean, because like we the ones that's playing, so if anybody should be upset, it's more us. But it's just start the season and we 1-on-1 right now. It's not as we might like, but at the same time, like, it's a lot of positives from what we have seen, and we just all we can do is build on that. Because you can't. I said a quote last year during the interview. You can't climb Mount Everest in a day. So it takes time. It takes time to really get this thing together and build on a foundation. And just when the time comes to, we get to the last dance, as like to say, like, we are polished. You know what I mean? So you can't get there overnight.
Beautifully said. I think that's the way to kind of go into it. I mean, it's early. You gotta let things develop, and you're working hard. And clearly, the team is putting in the work, and that's what we need to hear from the players. So thanks for settling that nervous.
I mean, how did you guys like the last game? What y'all think about that?
Hey, man, I loved it. We got the result. I think defense was playing really, really well. I love the play. I know that, again, some ups and downs on offense, but I think overall, we got the result that we're looking for.
That's all that matters. As long as we get them letters, that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
That's right.
Find a way. Just find a way.
Yeah, well, that was a really thoughtful response. And I think that leads into our next question that we have for you. We spent some time digging into your play style and your social media and your interviews. And it really came through that you're this hugely dedicated guy, striving to always be better. Coaches even comment on it. You've got over, I think, 300 Instagram stories or highlights on mindset, just as an example. We'd love to know, has this always been part of your personality, or when did you really embrace this?
Well, no, I wouldn't say it's always my personality. I mean, I've definitely been optimistic and things like that, just try to look for the betterment. But it comes to time. I mean, because, like, I even shared a story with you, like, when I first started playing football. Like, at one point, I didn't know if I would actually play it. And that's kind of funny to, how we end up where I am now. But, it just, over time, you start to realize that, like, through sports, I learned that, like, you have adversity, you have things that, you have to challenge, you have to overcome challenges and things of that nature. So just find a way to really, like, find a positive. That's been a big thing for me. And then now stepping into a new layer where I'm not, and in college, it's the real world. I'm dealing with real life things. So you have to even transfer your mind to a different type of mentality in order to just, come in. And because now it's not like just, we're going to college and so forth. Like, you have a job to do, and it takes up a lot more than you may think, those who are actually dedicated. But I would say, like, just over time and just trying to see, like, how my life is planning out and just how you stay consistent and disciplined and things of that nature. Like, it's going to work itself out. I mean, because, at the end of the day, like, your energy goes, everything else will follow. So, but as far as, like, how I look at it as far as a defensive standpoint or, like, as a player, I just want to, be the best I can be, because at the end of the day, like, I'm a part of the defense. I'm a part of something special, but, everybody, at the end of the day, like, be a chain. So if your chain has a weak link, that can be exploited, things of that nature. So I just want to make sure that, like, when the time comes, if guys maybe having down days or, like, a situation where, like, I mean, I gave up a play the other day, and just, finding ways that really, like, to the point, like, when we hone in and play out, it's kind of hard to really find, like, a weakness. And I think that's when the real teams and the greatest teams kind of flourish. But it starts with your mindset. It starts how you prepare day in, day out. I think that's what Coach Reed kind of instills in us. Like, every day is a work day, no matter what day it is. So just come in prepared. But yeah, it's definitely a journey. And as you get older, as I get older, I continue to learn differently. and things of that nature. So, it's always learning and developing. We gotta continue. I think Giannis, the basketball player for the Milwaukee Bucks, said the best. Like, we got to continue being a kid, and that means it basically means just continue learning, continue trying to grow and learn and develop. Because when you stop doing that, you feel like you know it all, and that's when life really starts to hit you. So I think that's the biggest thing I could probably say from the people that's viewing and my fans personally. Just continue to learn, continue to grow. I think that's the biggest thing we can have, the only thing we can do in life. But it translates on the field and everything else. So just trying to find, the happy medium between between all the chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think you can apply that to so many facets of life too, on and off the field, just like you said.
And that framing of like continuing to be a kid, I think is something that we need to think about more, especially like you said, as we're getting older. I mean, sometimes we're like stuck in our ways and
more lived experiences.
refuse to kind of change things. So like continuing to learn, I mean, that youthful mindset is certainly a way to continue to do that. And it starts with one person. Like you said, if you're going to be you can't be a weak link in this huge chain. So a lot of good tidbits there, Bryan.
Yeah, and I also feel like that mindset is like that's what separates like the good from the great. Like I feel like, I mean, I watch a ton of sports documentaries, and like you could I love to know what goes on like behind the scenes and in your head, and it seems like that is like the piece that always separates good from great.
Absolutely.
So I love that. So we're up here in Nebraska, and Kansas City's the Chiefs are the closest NFL team to us. So you've got a lot of Chiefs fans in Nebraska, obviously in Kansas City, also tons of passionate fans. Is there a favorite memory you have of interacting either with like fans or a moment like in Arrowhead Stadium that just really sticks out to you?
Favorite moment for the fans. That's kind of hard though, because I kind of got spoiled my first year. If I'm being honest with you, my first year I got a ring, so like, I can't really. Yeah, like that's it's kind of hard to say because people in their career go years. Like I spent like my first introduction, so like I think probably the Super Bowl was definitely one where I realized like how big it actually was. But as far as like the fans, I don't know, like they're just consistent. Like I can't. It's hard to explain really because like even at home games, we all drive in our cars and things like that, and they all just cheering each other on and things of that nature. They be in there before we even clock in for work. They be outside tailgating, like things like that. Just like they're dedicated, bro. So like I appreciate that. But it's like I can't pinpoint just one story for its fans wise. But I would say though, honestly, for me speaking, I would never hear the national anthem normally again. Like every time I hear it, I think about obviously like home of and it's Chiefs. I just like, oh, bro, like that's dope. And then you got Willie Gay dancing and things like that. So I can't unsee that. So I think that's probably the biggest thing I can take away from the fans is like how passionate they are for the sport and for the players. So I definitely am appreciative. I'm definitely I love you guys for that. But that's probably my biggest thing is like the national anthem game in and out, day in and day out, just week to week. So it's definitely a beautiful thing to be a part of. And I'm definitely blessed to be in this position.
Yeah, that time they threw you a parade.
Oh yeah, that too. All that. I said all that. It's just I was spoiled. I was so spoiled. I just looked at it like it happened fast, and we all just kind of like, oh, it's over. But we like as rookies, we don't know anything else other than that. Like we don't know anything else other than experiencing that. So like we definitely was spoiled. But like the parade, like I said, I just everything. But the week to week and how it built up, but just the journey was definitely beautiful. So we're trying to obviously, get back up to that point again. It definitely take work, but that's it. It's day in and day out how consistent they are. It definitely doesn't go unnoticed.
Well, it's great that you can have that perspective. I feel like a lot of people might get caught up in it and think that they're, higher than high, and you being able to kind of like ground it, be like, well, it's lucky that I was able to make that happen and be a part of a team like that, get in this position. I think that's great perspective to have. I wonder if we can pivot a little bit. Can you take us back to your early days at Howard University? What were your impressions of the college football program, the challenges that you faced? I think you described yourself then as like a skinny kid. You were just trying to make your mark. Take us back to that time frame in your life.
What was that? 7 years ago? I'm trying to really go back. I mean, I'm honestly though, that's why I met my core group of friends.
Yeah.
But as far as like football and like the atmosphere, like, it was just, I don't know, because like for me, I was 8 hours away from home. Never been that far away from home by myself. I don't know anybody there for real. I'm just trying to figure it out. Obviously, it's HBCU, so that's kind of good too. Like everybody's kind of working the same goal, but we all going through the same struggles.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you know what HBCUs like. That they definitely have their problems, but at the end of the day, like they definitely do breed some very successful people, and I've seen why they did that as well. But for me, as far as football wise, like I didn't know anything. I was just trying to be the best I could be. I came into a program where recently, before that, like before year I got there, I think it was like 2-9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was that situation, and then we had a new coach coming in, so whole new culture was being brought up. So we just kind of just like came together and had a really a goal, but like for a new coaching staff and new players, we all kind of just gravitate to each other and work to a common goal. But me personally, I was just trying to be best I could. I didn't know what I would be, I didn't know what I would become. Because originally I started as a corner as well, so that's another thing too. Like I play safety now, but I played corner back then. But just learning from them, and then like as the time goes on, I got close with one of my coaches. Like I still to this day call him a coach, father figure to me. His name was Razak Dowling. I think he played a year. He played in the league for a few years way back as well. But he's definitely one of my mentors that kind of took me on his wing my freshman and sophomore year before I ended up leaving. But just like constantly getting the knowledge. We had a great coaching staff. I think about Kato June, Mike London. Like those are he brought definitely some good guys in that played in the league and things like that. So we just kind of soak up the information. But I said that I was just now you think about it though. Now I'm speaking out loud. Like, I was definitely spoiled in a lot of areas I did not know because like honestly like I had coaches that already played in the league, so I got that information. Then I went to UC, transferred to that, played in a different position, new scheme with a whole different coach who's still a phenomenal coach.
Right.
And that propelled me to where I am now. So it was just like we look at it though, like everything in your life happens for a reason. But for me, as far as like coming in, I didn't really know what I was gonna become. Like I think I came in like 165, 170, soaking wet. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was terrible to really be a part of. I'm like, dang, bro, like these guys are big. I ain't big enough. Like but it was definitely a struggle, but it's a learning curve at the end of the day because I got in the rate program. I started to learn different things like that. I had my best friend to this day. Shout out to Jordan Ailey. We got to a pack to a point like we just started hitting the weights pretty hard, and that's when we tried to start competing with one another. He also my roommate too, so it was everything like the constant just like developing, trying to get better. I think that's it. Like that's the environment that I was kind of brought into at my HBCU. So I definitely like hold them people in that place dear to my heart because it definitely taught me a lot about perseverance. Not just survival, but trying to overcome challenges because it's different when you're away from home. You just kind of just placed in the area. You have no idea how to do anything. But yeah, so it was a lot of growing up, a lot of realizations that was coming about. You see, those people who see you raw, authentic, because you came straight out of high school. It wasn't like no transition.
Yeah.
So they see the pure you, like, oh, this is who you is because you just finished being who you were back at home. But yeah, man, just going back to those years, like it was definitely a blessing. And how I look at it, like I wasn't the biggest, wasn't the fastest, wasn't. I mean, I consider myself smart, but even then, like school, sometimes you still be hard. But you continue to work, continue to try to figure things out, continue to learn, and get better over time. But in that situation, like I said, I definitely am blessed to be in that situation. I figured that at the end of the day, even though I didn't know what I was doing, I figured I can use that place to help me become better, and that's what I did. And obviously, that's part of my story forever. It's not gonna go away. So that's why I'm here today with that experience. So it's definitely beautiful though, bro. But it was a struggle at first. And so I was $170, bro, and it's different, dog. It's different. I'm not explaining how like you're just unable to like put up any strength.
Yeah,
I couldn't bench press that much. Like it was just But you put the time in. You put the time in. You work to get better.
Yeah. Well, what I heard in your story is like you were maybe you weren't ready at every venture, but you took advantage of those opportunities and you figured out how to get ready. It goes back to this idea of your mindset and like, just working hard and all the things that we've, heard about you, researched about you, and going in advance of talking today is taking advantage of those opportunities at every step of the way. So, I mean, that kudos to you. You say that you're lucky, but I think it's also obviously the amount of work that you put into those moments.
Oh,
For
yeah,
sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah. So, you talked a little bit about Cincinnati. That's like a half hour away from your high school hometown.
You did your homework, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did your homework. Yeah, it's about 20 to 30.
Yeah. So was that your first choice when you entered the transfer portal?
That was really my only choice. And I say that because like I don't know where to go. I didn't know how everything worked. But through my situation, through my years, like, just more situation like, coaches reached out and things like that, and then I realized what's going on with my school and how everything was changing. So I just kind of talked to my coach, which was Raja Dallin, and kind of like figure out what should I do, how should I move on, and I think his mentality was kind of what propelled me to go there because honestly, because he was going through his thing too. He's out with Mary now, so shout out to him as well. But he sat down with me. He was like, bro, like, I could take you with me and, go over here. However, like, there's better opportunity for you if you go this place instead. It's closer to home and things like this. Start listening, like, how it would be better off for me. And I didn't, at the time, I didn't know. I'm a kid. I was like, I don't know, bro. I go to a position. I don't know if I'm going home like that and things of that nature. But it ended up, like, being the best thing for me. And, like, it's funny, though, because when I first got there, like, I didn't know anything. I was just trying to figure things out. I think for the first week, my room wasn't even ready. So that's another thing, too.
Oh,
but it was don't worry about it. That's I went to Howard. That's simple. That's very simple. That's simple. Howard was a different experience. I tell you, like, that's a different type of struggle. That's a long story. But shout out to HBCU. So, man. But, like, just figuring things out and then getting to a point where, like, I am playing well, and I end up like I go through a serious injury. I break my ankle.
Yeah.
Like that spring I get there, and just dealing with that, like missing the year and having to really learn myself again on different aspects because I didn't know anything other than football. And so at that moment, I didn't really know anything. But just as the time goes on, I continue to stay dedicated. I have some great teammates that helped me in the long years, and they might not think they helped me. They helped me a lot. Just staying positive, putting some more confidence in me that I can't play that level. I mean, whether you think you can or think you can, you know what I'm saying, you're both right. So I'm just trying to figure out how can I be better. And I'm playing a different position. I'm playing different techniques. I'm playing off man coverage and the slide. Like I didn't do that before.
Yeah.
So just how simple things like that. You start to try to think differently. But yeah, I didn't really have like any other choice though. How I think about it, I didn't know how the transfer portal worked at that time either because. The transfer portal was, I think when I was doing it, it was very different. I think probably 2 years later, that's when people started to be like, yo, you can transfer and you can play that season. Whereas like when I was transfer, you got to sit out. So I was like,
right.
It was a whole different dynamic. But I'm definitely blessed to be in a position. I'm happy that I was able to go home and spend time playing for a team at home. It's kind of funny, when I started playing, I started realizing, cousin, when he was younger, we used to play like NCAA football. But we always would pick Cincinnati for our team. We would great players on and things like that. So it's kind of like funny how my life ended up turning out. Me actually playing in real life. I guess so crazy. But I don't know. I guess I didn't really have anything other than that choice. And once my coach kind of told me like this is probably a better opportunity for you, I kind of just took it and took his word for it and just kind of banked on myself and put my faith into God and try to figure it out from there. But that's pretty much it. There's no like real like pizzazz story about it.
Well, I think you mentioned cousins, like dreaming. Let's back up a little bit even further then and talk a little bit about, you playing the game young. I heard a story that you told you were 4 years old playing football with some friends and you were rocked by an older kid from the neighborhood. You didn't like how it felt. And then you talked to your mom about it, and she gave this like really great quote. Can you tell that story?
Yeah, that's too funny, man. You digging deep.
He does. He's so good.
Yeah, no. So I kind of put this story for you. It was actually I'm playing my first year. I remember now because like it's kind of. So I said like my first year playing. I was like, you never would have thought of it right to this point, but trying to like really like go back to what that day was like. But okay, so my first year actually playing like organized tackle football. I'm trying to figure things out. At times like, oh, do it. But first, my mom kind of put me. And it's kind of funny. My mom kind of put me in because I had too much energy. So she put me in everything. She put me in like, bro, it was bad. Like I was all over the house. Like I was running around, going to the park 24/7. I didn't sleep. Like it was just, and she couldn't take it. So she put me in sports. But it was that basketball and baseball, the three sports I played.
Smart mom.
I was 4. Yeah, bro. She said I can't take this. So she put me in football. My first year, my first like scrimmage. We scrimmage against the older kids, and at the time I'm playing running back. I didn't even know about. I'm just, I can run the ball. I'm kind of fast, or somewhat, whatever it may be. But we playing against the older kids. I remember the DN, either DN or linebacker. I forgot what it was. But I got a toss. So I'm running though. The DN kind of like, as soon as I got it, probably like 2 steps later, like he literally like, bro, it was bad. As a kid, you don't even realize how hard you get hit. But I got hit so hard, like my feet was in the air, I'm on the back. I'm like, bro. So I get done, now I'm sniffling, I'm like crying. I'm like, bro, I don't want to do this no more. This sucks. Like, this hurts. Like, I don't like this way this feels. And I went to my mom. I was like, Mom, like, I don't want to do this no more. She showed her, over there with the chairs, whatever, with the rest of the parents. We sitting there talking, and she put me in the corner and she said, listen here. Looking around, she said, listen here. She said, I already paid. So you got no choice. so she said, you got to finish it out. So either you can run faster than them, you can hit them as hard as they hit you, or you can shake them. And I chose to go back out there. When I was actually like, you know what? You're right. Let me go hit them as hard as they hit me because I hurt. After that, though, I hit somebody else, and like the whole coaching staff was just like cheering and laughing, just like, yeah, Cook, yeah, Brian. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I can get cheered for hitting somebody. This is dope. After that, I kind of just kept going with it. So I don't know. And then I ended up going to different little league teams, played there with the Super Bowl, not Super Bowl, but little league Super Bowl.
Yeah.
A couple of years. So it's just kind of just living through it. And went to school with it, went to high school with it, and just kind of consistently getting better. At one point, like, it kind of crazy, but I remember I played my 8th grade year. Originally, I remember the coach said I wasn't gonna play. Like, oh, you're not gonna play. You're kind of too late into the enroll. We got a team, things like nature. Oh, wow. By the end of the season, though, I was playing linebacker. Mind you, I'm the smartest person out there. Like, I'm so tiny. I'm like, bro, this made no sense. Like, I'm not playing linebacker, but it's a mentality, I guess you could say. So, but it was funny though, because I'm looking back at it, like, I don't know how my life would have shaped out if I didn't go back out there on that field when I was 4 years old. To end up being who I am today. But yeah, man, she's broke to me straight though. Black parents, they definitely tell you how it is. So I definitely appreciate her being honest with me in that moment. But it was just, it's kind of funny. You gotta be a love hard, but being in that situation, I'm just like, dang, like that's advice I get. I went back out there, made it happen, and then I see, sometimes we in life, you don't really see what's on the other side until we, give it a chance. So that's kind of what I did, and then after that, it's kind of day by day, and I end up being where I am today. So I definitely appreciate her honesty and her loving conversation with me for sure, because that was definitely the advice I needed. So I still love her this day. I appreciate your mom. I know she's probably at home working right now, but I definitely appreciate her to this day. I definitely love her dear in my heart.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, me too. So, gosh, we're gonna definitely have to send a link to your mom now. Make sure she gets this heartfelt message from her son. I'd love to know though, who were some of your football role models back then? You're young, getting interested in the sport. Did you have some favorite players?
Of course, I had a list of favorite players. So I guess you could start off with like. If you talk about, I had offensive players, defensive players. I played offense originally too. I played receiver during like junior high, and then like little league. I played offense. I played quarterback in little league. So like my quarterback, I really like. Michael Vick was one that I looked at. Tom Brady was a person that. It's funny because about playing my rookie year, it was like, bro, like he's really here, like he's really on the field with me. But he definitely was a role model that I looked up to. I looked at Drew Brees. He's just 1 and 2. and then just kind of guys like even like like I think now like as I got older, Aaron Rodgers definitely was a guy that I'm like he definitely is pretty good. I remember his seatbelt kind of celebration. I think that's pretty tough. And then going to defensive offensive side, I stayed on offensive side for a little bit. You got for receivers wise, I like Steve Smith, like his attitude.
Oh yeah.
Calvin Johnson, they call him Megatron. I mean, let's see, what else receivers that what he was like. Oh, Victor Cruz. I like how he would do his dance in the end zone. First running backs wise, I like Marshawn Lynch. I think that was another mentality person I kind of looked at there.
Yep.
Daniel Tomlinson was one. Reggie Bush was kind of person I kind of looked at. And then on the defensive side, more DBs. So I looked at like Patrick Peterson was one. I remember looking like the Legion of Boom, like when they had the Seattle Seahawks that year. I was definitely a fan. Actually, my favorite team growing up. And then
Really?
safety, yeah, kind of funny. How that works.
Yeah.
Kind of funny how that works. But no, the whole staff, like the Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman, like the whole DB group, and then the whole defense as a whole. Like they had Bobby Wagner was on the defense, other guys too. It just how they just took they took their time on the side to really like be professionals, but at the same time have passion with it. Ray Lewis was a big influencer for us, like people Ed Reed, Trip Malo, like the list goes on for defense and wise. As I got older, it's not the Trip mentality. Like I was like, okay, well, defense a little better, a little bit. But yeah, like the list goes on.
Sense.
I think as I kind of like grow up, I kind of like look at things differently. But those are definitely some guys that they look up to. To this day, like I wish I can go back and watch film on them and just see how they really played. But yeah, no, I think Brian Dawkins is another person that definitely admire. I said the list just kind of goes on. As I continue to think about it, I'm pretty sure more names will come about. But those are like just a list of a few of them.
Yeah, we've got a good all-star list going here.
Oh yeah,
with
yeah.
The players
you can win some rings.
Pointed out. Yeah. Solid role models for sure.
Yeah, and it's clear you take influence from a lot of people around you. You take full advantage of that. Can you tell us a little bit about the support system you had in your local community while growing up, and how it contributed to your growth as a young athlete?
Well, yeah, I mean it starts with the in the household. My mom, I know she did her best as far as like we grew up single parent, so we had 3 kids. But we kind of just grew up in a way like, we're gonna figure things out. We're gonna, do the thing. She would go to work, and me and older brother, my little sister, would just like little sister would kind of just figure things out on a day-to-day basis. But she would take the time to take us to the park and do activities, things like nature. She got us into like other activities, be supportive, and like I said, the sports, and like even the conversation we had that one day, like just continue to encourage us and always telling us like we're destined for greatness, and then. As a kid, you're like, oh, okay, cool, it is what it is. But like, it's did you get?
Oh, you're back. We lost you for a second.
But like, where was I going with that? Oh yeah,
as a kid,
like, as a kid, you just kind of just had that support system. And then you look at like even outside the house, like my siblings, and I'm not gonna say my cousins and things of that nature, like seeing everybody doing well. We had a conversation about what we wanted to go in life, what we wanted to do in life, and this person wanted to be this, this person wanted to be this. So just have this conversation with your family, kind of just change your perspective about things. Because as you get older, like the time you spend with your actual like something you're born in definitely does start to kind of deteriorate because you're working on the same vision, the same purpose you was working on when you were talking about as a kid. But just having a support system, and then as you transpire to outside of that, so now you start to meet people like in other realms, like I said, my coaches, things of that nature, my teammates, my close childhood friends, like how we play a little league from sandbox all the way up to high school, like that's pretty dope. Like it's just overall just having the continue like everybody just kind of get better and support one another. It definitely is beautiful. Now obviously everybody can't get to this point, but just to see like how much like it really goes into like people say it takes a village, but you can't really tell how much it takes a village until you look back and really like digest like what your life really transpire. Like if people think like, oh, I made it my own. Like no, you didn't. Like everybody needs help. Everybody needs a support system. Everybody needs these things to really figure things out on a day-to-day basis. And you know, having a good support system is probably the key to everything you want to do in life, because you're not gonna have your days every day that you gonna want to feel like doing, or you could think you're doing it, but just having that inspiration. Like I remember a time where, even thinking back, like I had went, I forgot, I'm trying to think. I think I was in college maybe, or going into, I think it was in college, like in my senior year, going to my senior year. I was kind of tired. Like, I don't feel like working out today, this, that, so forth. But my sister, she watches me. She watches me to a T. So like, I remember I woke up, I kind of was like chilling. I came back from like somewhere else. She was outside jumping the rope, and I was kind of like thinking, I'm like, let me do something. So like just having that like someone to look at and someone who's motivating you, not about like anything to say, but just how they moving. And definitely does rub off on you. So like surround yourself with people who want you the best for you. I think that would be the tier two. That's probably why my close friends from Howard are so close, because like day in and day out, like we play football together, yes, but like in life itself, we support one another. We hear from one another. Like if nothing to talk about, like we're a phone call away. Things of that nature. And we hold those moments we have in our like definitely dear our heart, because we don't get those often as we want to, because of life itself. But it's sad though, when you grow up, you always think like, oh well, we had this time forever. You're gonna be like, I mean, in life though, it don't work that way. You have to have times where like you go on your own path, and those who are really there for you is going to show, because then it's like you pick up the phone as if nothing happened. You can go years without talking to me. You can go months, like without talking to somebody, and you feel as if like you're still back to day one. And I think those are the ones you kind of hone into, because they see you from ground up, and they can really talk to you as an individual, not just person you're becoming. But yeah, no, it's a support system that you gotta have. You gotta have a great support system, because that's what anything starts with. Yes, you got to do the work, you do the things like that, but if you don't have the support system to pick you in your bad days, or like at least try to, like, for me, I know for me personally, I even speak, I'm definitely being a little bit like definitely transparent in the situation. Like I had a hard time really accepting my mom or be supportive. My sister would try to be there, and like like, I'm coming from a high school game, I lost. I'm like, I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want
Yeah.
to be bothered. Like we just lost. But looking back at it, like just the effort of like, oh, we can do this, you can do this. And as a kid, as a boy, like you don't really realize, like like, no, I'm not trying to like just leave me alone. You can't do that though, because at the end of the day, like you have to have people who really try to like help you, and it's okay. It really is okay if people try to help you. You gotta be okay with that, and it's your choice at the end of the day to get up and do your things. But at the end of the day, you got to have a strong support system. I think anybody who gets to this level knows that. Even guys now in the league, like it's different. Me going to college and like going with teammates, and they going home to their dorm and they hanging, boom, boom, like going out drinking on weekends. Whereas like I'm going to work with people who got kids and got wives at home, and it's like it's a whole different transition in my life. It's like people are not just out here making like oh, living my dreams, yeah, but I'm also like providing for my family, and it changes your perspective about life. But seeing how they to deal with the constant like day in and day out stress level that what it is that we do, but they had the support system at home to really like, okay, whenever things hits haywire, I have something to come back home that's gonna support me, that loves me for me. We're gonna figure this thing out, because at the end of the day, like I don't know, your family can be from blood or it can be from other things. Like my closest friend, I consider them to be family too. But you gotta have your support system, you gotta have your village, you gotta have your foundation. In your kingdom, I guess you can say, to really like, prosper in today's life, and definitely hold on to those people who do that for sure. So, personalism is definitely big, but I can't just pinpoint one moment. It's all around, and it continues to grow as time goes on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I hear wisdom beyond your years,
Yeah.
Bryan, in your answer here. I mean, that's
it.
so clear that's important. And I think I'm so glad to hear that you have that support system in your life, especially, again, the importance of it being at that level and making sure that you continue to stay motivated and in the mindset that you need to be successful. So I'm really glad to hear it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I be trying, man. Definitely be trying. I'm only 24, so I was trying to be thinking to myself, well, how can I be better? But it definitely is hard though. But especially now, because like you might have it by myself, like in a nutshell, like it's kind of different. Like it's that like, oh, you can go and hang with your friends. It's like, oh, we a whole different lifestyle. Like they're in a whole different state doing their things, and we're trying to figure out our lives and things of that nature. So it definitely is different. But you gotta have that. You gotta have those times where like you can sit back and talk to those people time and time again. I know we get in our own ways of like, oh, I'm just busy and things like that, but just try to find time. A text message goes a long way. I'm learning that too. I'm trying to amend relationships that I had, that I still have, and just figuring out how I go about it without, and then you gotta still work on your craft and do your thing, and your life get busy. But when time comes, and it will come, try to hold on to those moments. Try to talk to those people. Try to find time. And those who truly, that's another thing too. Those who truly there for you will understand. Like, I don't have to sit here and be like, oh yeah, I'm busy and something. Like, they like, I get it, do your thing. And I think that's a whole different type of feeling. Cause like, okay, I can do what I want to do what I need to do without them feeling pressured or feeling like they're neglected or things like that. So it definitely stuff to shape like who you are and where you come from and how you go about certain things. Cause you need that. Definitely do need that. Like, I don't know how long you on the podcast, but I'm pretty sure somebody probably, oh, I see you on the podcast yesterday, but you didn't text me back. It's like, I'm literally working. Like, so yeah, you gotta have those people. You gotta have those people in your life for sure.
Yes, certainly.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I think about too is like how people can be like your home, right? I mean, they're like they guide you there, they surround you and support you, and that's one of the things. Speaking of home, we know that you've just made some recent updates to your home in Kansas City, and I saw, I think on the Instagram posts that you were looking at some desks, some drawers, some couches. Curious if you're looking at like design for the whole home or just a few rooms. Just can you tell us a little bit about your projects?
Oh yeah, no, it was for the whole home. I need to get the whole home reinvented. So I got the main room, I had the two dressers, one with the mirror, one without. I got the spare bedroom, same dresser, just different color. And then I'm in my office. This is my office where we at now. I have a table. I just ordered this different monitor for somewhere else, but the table's like goes up and down. I bought the chair.
Yeah, the lift table. Yeah,
you definitely need you one. Got a lamp. Yeah, for sure, bro. Like you need certain things. We got the lamp, and then downstairs the living room. That's like I think that's the biggest makeover because I got an actual couch. I had two. I got like a couch. I got like I guess you can call it a couch chair. It's like just basically a square, but it's like supposed to be a couch, but it's like built like a chair. I have that, and then I have a dining room table, which is pretty phenomenal. But those are like just the simple things that I kind of got as far as like the place. I don't really know what else I think that's it though, as far as everything else. I think that's it. There's the dressers, the couches, things of that nature. I think that's it. But that's pretty like overall. That's all we really need though. But I didn't have anything in here, so definitely needed some stuff.
Needed the essentials.
That probably goes a long way in making it feel more like a home.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's comfortable. I can actually lay on the couch. Like last year was a struggle. I would say last year was a struggle because like I was moving. I kind of moved them by myself, so I was trying to like figure things out, and I didn't even. Throughout the season, I'll be completely transparent with y'all. Throughout the season, like I didn't even have a couch last year in my old apartment. Like I had a beanbag from college and like a rocking chair that I bought in my living room. And that was my living room. And then upstairs I had a spare bedroom, but I didn't have like nothing else. Like I was living out of like the Walmart dressers, things like that. So definitely like up the game overall, with some help of course. But yeah, it definitely looks like way more homey. I can come home and be like, okay, I feel like I'm working for something,
Yeah, and you can relax
nice.
and
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's dope.
Did you have a favorite part of the process when you were coming in to check things out, or was it one of those things where you're like, oh man, I don't know what to do? Can you walk us through kind of like going in and selecting these home comforts?
I mean, honestly, I know for a fact it was the couches that I really was like, I need one of those.
Well, yeah,
like,
you're going from a beanbag. I mean,
yeah, you feel what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Like, come on. I need to be able to lay down in my living room. Like, but yeah, no, that's like my favorite part about the whole trip. Obviously, I know I needed other things as well. As far as like like simple things, like even the dining room table. Like that's people can say that's simple, but like definitely need those things. The dressers, like the real dressers, not the ones you kind of just. It's like there's no space, but overall, like I said, for me, the couches would set it off for me because I think that was I think I went around. I'm not sure about the video, but I'm pretty sure I went around. I seen the couch. I keep in mind I went back around. I was like, I want that couch. I want that chair to go with it. Are you sure it's gonna fit? It's gonna fit. I'll make sure it's gonna fit. You're gonna move some stuff around. I'm gonna make sure this thing fits. So that's probably my favorite gift, I would say, for sure.
Well, excellent. I love to hear it. I know we're kind of getting close to the end of our time, so I'm gonna do a final question for you. Pretty standard fare here, but what advice would you give to young athletes who may find themselves kind of in a similar situation? We talked about it towards the beginning of the podcast, being like, you're heading to college, you're a skinny kid with dreams, whether it's playing football or whatever it is, getting to that next level. What kind of general advice would you set for people who are at that stage in their lives?
It's kind of hard. We can speak from different types of mentality, but I think the message I could say is you're not going to feel like doing it. You're not going to think like, oh well, you're gonna try to talk yourself out of it some days. Like, oh man, I'll be cool this if I do this, but consistency and discipline are the two things that I would say drive the bus to where you want to be. Is can you be consistent? Can you be disciplined? Can you be disciplined in times you don't feel like it? Can you be consistent when you're not motivated? Can you be consistent when you feel like I'm not really seeing the results? Then that's a different type of pill to swallow. Like, oh well, and if people say, oh, like, they do the same thing over and over again with expecting different result is insanity. However, Bruce Lee said it best. Like, I don't fear a man that practices 1,000 kicks once, or fear a man that practices one kick 1,000 times. Why? Because you perfected that kick time and time again to learn it, to grow from it, to develop it. And I think that goes with anything else. And it goes back to why Stephen Curry put up so many shots, why Kobe Bryant's always in the gym so many hours, why people do these things. You got to be disciplined and consistent. But you're going to find yourself, and I'll say this for myself, you're going to find yourself falling in love with the process, because you're going to start at the point where, like, you're working out not to get better, because that's natural, but you're working out to then find your weaknesses. What are you weak at? What do you feel you can improve on? What are you things that you feel like, I can do this a little better? And then when you get to those do better, how can you make it even crispier? And then
crispier, I like that.
So like, we're playing at a high level. Like, people are fast. People are definitely like route savvy and things like that. So I gotta be up with my P's and Q's. But like, I think even for me, I'm talking to myself as well. I got to back to like what I did. I know that other thing is too, people in life, like, they get to a point like, all right, I did it. I just did it. Like, no, like, how'd you get here? So continue to do that, so that way years later you can still look up like, all right, you should pass, which one's to pass. But it said the discipline and consistency is probably the bus that drives it. And take care of your body, take care of your mental. Like, that's another thing too. Like, you can run yourself rampant. And it was funny, Todd. I'm kind of quoting Conor McGregor in this, but he was like, off my mind in the process. And then he said, but it's fine. Cause like when the mom has something, when the girl has something, X, Y, and Z. But when he said like, I lost my mind in the process, like, you start to really like look at yourself and like, what is it you do day in, day out? And that's fine. Everybody gonna agree with that, and that's totally okay. But you have to like, have faith and have belief that like tomorrow you're not working for it today, you're working for the next day or the next month or the next year. But if you don't do it today, if you don't do it now, if you don't do it day in and day out, how can you get to that point? How can you get to that point you want to be on TV? Like, I once wanted to be a kid, like, oh, I want to be on TV and play football. How you even get to that point? How gonna be your steps? How you gonna go about it? And it does take work. It does take like dedication. I'm blessed to be in the position, but like, it's funny because like once you get to that point, you realize like, okay, what you thought was work is not where work. Now that where work begins, because it's harder to stay in the league than it is to get to the league. And it's sad, and it's so crazy. People are like, oh well, I don't want to get there. Like, yeah, you can get there, but bro, you'll be out in like 2 months.
Yeah.
2 weeks. Like, it's
Yeah, good point.
It's so wild. Yeah, it's so wild. So like, how you gonna stay? I mean, because people in the NFL and knows like NFL don't like last. I mean, not for long. So like, how you gonna like be consistent? How you gonna thrive? How you gonna be valuable to someone or to a team? Which gonna be your value that you bring to the organization? And it doesn't come overnight. It doesn't come over just like, oh, it just dropped from the heavens. Like, that's not how it works, bro. You gotta really work for it day in, day out. And I know, like, for me personally, I have definitely a bigger role, but I try to just stay consistent and try to help and try to do these things, especially because like I enjoy, and it's me being speaking. But I enjoy like me talking to like Mike Edwards or things like nature, like other rookies, and asking questions like, "Hey, but like on this play, what you think we should do?" Or like that helps me because like that's what I'm thinking. Like, okay, I'm trying to learn from your perspective
Mm-hmm.
And like, especially with my own job, I can go on, oh, I missed this stuff. But like, it's different. We got to help someone else. Something that you like, it can help you too, and other aspects. But like, constantly, I say constantly learning, constantly developing, but consistency and discipline is probably the message I can give. Take care of your mental. I think Russian said it best. Take care of your chicken, take care of your mental. Take care of your mental. But it definitely is true.
Your quote game is just
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Brian, I'm very impressed.
Appreciate it.
Very impressed with this. Well, thank you so much for joining our podcast today. I'd love to just close out. Are you a social media person? How can people stay connected with you or the team?
Yeah, so my social media would be YND_. But hold on, because that's so sad. That's so sad.
holding for social media.
And we just looked at it earlier.
I know. We have it, but we want to make sure Brian gets it. He's coming right back. He's going to tell us. He's going to nail it. Second take. That's the beauty of editing, right?
YND_Cook.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey, there he is.
Right. Yeah, my bad. So my Instagram is YND_Cook. And then my Twitter name is AOCook_6. But yeah, those are the two. But I don't be on social media like that too much. I'm trying to work my relationship with God. I'm trying to really just take a step back, especially in the season. Like you can't see all that stuff every day because I have to pick up people's energy. People. Everybody got an opinion. Everybody got an opinion.
Yeah.
So like, I got to just stay true to myself and what is like keep me going in the day. So just trying to stay off of it. But like, if you want to read, like those are the platforms I usually use. Mainly Instagram. I'm kind of taking a hiatus right now. Just like letting it be after the season. Just trying to focus on football and what I need to do week in and week out. But those are the two streams that I use mostly.
Well, people can see on Sundays, right? I mean, that's
what
matters.
Of course. That's the easiest way to see TV. Turn your TV on.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, Brian, and everyone who's listening at home. And we encourage you to go to nfm.com to learn more about our company and shop 24/7 for today's top furnishing styles. We'll be back again soon with another episode. Till then, remember, home is what you make it.
Thanks for joining us today for I Am Home with Tyler Weisskopf, Hilary Waltemath, and Becca Sudbeck. No one knows home quite like NFM. So if you'd like more information on home design at NFM, please check out nfm.com and leave us a review on the podcast platform of your choice.